we were talking how somebody got pregnant and they kind of fell off the boat from this business. And I said, that is going to be her biggest mistake, because now she can't look back in her business when she has other women who are pregnant and aren't working the business. She can't tell them what she did. She can't tell them that she did it and they can too. Now she has to tell them, like, she has to accept the fact that when people deny her when they're pregnant and they don't want to join her, or they're not working with her, she has to accept that, because
that's exactly what she did.
Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is G. If you're new here, hello, welcome. Thank you for clicking on this video. I hope you like it. If you're not new here, thank you so much for coming back. You make me so happy. Now, on my channel, I like to create content to talk about the manipulative and predatory tactics of MLMs, which are multi-level marketing schemes. In today's video, what we're going to do is react to a Beachbody team call. I don't know what it is about Beachbody, but for some reason, in my opinion, there's always something a little bit toxic about their team calls. Let's see what we're gonna learn from today's and see how we feel about Beachbody at the end. Without any further ado, let's jump right in.
All right, guys, welcome to your Goal Getters and Fit and Fearless team call tonight. We have a special guest with us today. It is so excited. My bad for last week, because I asked if we were good to go, never followed back up with to let her know that we were good, and then the girl had to work and picked up the shift. I'm pretty sure that's what happened anyways, but I'm super excited to have her on tonight, guys. It is honestly, like, this is going to be gold, so I hope that you have all of your stuff out to take notes. I know it says I'm right now. She is listening, but I am running the call. So Christine is here. I'm going to introduce Ashley quick. So is on Team Uproar. She has been a coach for 3 years. Last year, she was a 2019 elite coach. She is currently 116th into the company. Holy bananagrams. That is amazing. And was 5-star diamond coach. Is 5-star diamond coach. So, guys, goals, right? Absolutely amazing. So
Let's just go ahead and look up what a 5-star, what did they say? A 5-star diamond coach? I need to rewind that. All these MLM little names.
First time I actually got to was 5-star diamond coach.
A 5-star diamond coach. I was honestly hoping I heard that wrong. Nope. Okay, let's Google. The 5-star diamond coach has a potential weekly earnings of $7,000. Potential weekly earnings. So 7 times 4 is 28. $28,000 a month. Wow. Potential annual earnings at that level, $364,000. Wow. So she is making bank.
Is 5-star diamond coach. So, guys, goals, right? Absolutely amazing. So my first time I actually got to meet Allie in person was at the NLC this year, where I slept on the floor underneath a table because I was broke as shit, and I was like, I need somewhere to stay, I have nowhere to go, so please house me. And Allie was pregnant at the time. She is now a new mama. So if you guys think that you're busy, honestly, like, she is a full-time nurse. She is a mama. She is running this business. She's absolutely killing it. You were so pregnant. Like, I can't believe you actually traveled pregnant, and like the most gorgeous pregnant woman ever. So she's going to really talk to you guys about time management today and how to make sure that even if you think you're busy, I can guarantee you that you're not as busy as Allie. And she's going to bring that to you. And I really feel like it's a great way for you guys to be able to dial into this last couple days of this month. If you haven't hit your goals, being able to understand how you can manage your time better might be able to help you be more effective. So you can actually make sure you're hitting Success Club, that you're rank advancing your business, all the things. Cool. So I'm going to hand it off to Allie so you can serve us with all of the goals. And I'm just super excited. So thank you.
I can already feel that in this meeting, we're going to find out all of the things that are wrong with us. Starting first with, we're lazy and we don't use our time wisely, and we don't do as much as this person.
cool. Okay, can you guys hear me? Good. Okay, I'm baby free for the next 2 hours, so I'm taking full advantage of this. Okay, so Sarah kind of introduced me and my background, but I don't know how many of you guys know me, if you guys ever see me on the upper page. So my name's been a coach for 3 years, and I think I get asked a lot to speak on this topic because I think I've shown people what's up. I think I've shown people what's possible, and I think I tackle a lot of those objections. And so let me give you a little bit of background on my story. I got married in August 2016, signed up for this in October, started nursing school in January, and it was a 16-month, super accelerated, really quick BSN program. And so I built my business in the first, like I really built it in the first year and a half of being a coach, because last year I hit 5-star elite. And I did that the first half of last year. I was still in nursing school. So the first half of my business, I was in nursing school full time. If anybody's been in nursing school, if anybody's a student and you're like, fuck, how did you do that? That's what I'm going to kind of go over today. After that, I think this is the only time I've ever been able to do the business full time was my 6 weeks after I took my NCLEX to then getting hired. So I had 6 weeks off. In my 3 years of being a coach, that's the only time I've ever not had anything else going on. And we always have other stuff, but I didn't have a job. I didn't have school. For me, I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And I wasn't pregnant yet. So, and then after that, I ended up starting working as a nurse. I'm a pediatrics nurse still at Sunrise Children's Hospital in Nevada, and found out probably 4 weeks after I started that I was pregnant. And so employee of the year, right? So I've been working, I'm still working all throughout my pregnancy. I worked up until I was 39 and a half weeks pregnant. Then had my baby girl, and she's 5 months old as of last week. So I like to share that with you guys because I think sometimes we have one of those things. We're a student, we're a mom, we have a baby, we're pregnant. And then to top all this off, my husband is currently running for U.S. Congress in Nevada for one of our districts. So I do that full time too. So like if you guys sit there and you think like, if you have any one of those and you feel like your life is busy, just know your goal is over here. Like I'm doing all of those at the same time and I'm dying. And I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. This is not easy. I cry on my husband's shoulder. I take 15-minute naps. I sleep for maybe 5 hours a night. We're sleep training my daughter. So I'm lucky if I get 5 hours a night. And it's hard. I will never tell any of my coaches or anybody else that life, this business, doing this business, like how many of you guys have ever thought like, what if I didn't say yes to this? What would I be doing right now? Can I get like a raise your hand? Like what if I was just a normal human? What if I didn't have to post on social media? What if I didn't have to work on my days off? What if I didn't have to post to my stories or do vitals or invite people? How many times have you guys thought about that? Because I think about that. I still have those days where I'm like, wow, I get 4 days off as a nurse, but I feel like I never have a day. My other question for you guys, and I asked this in the comments, but open your comments right now. How many of you guys, and there's a purpose to me asking this, how many of you guys watch Bachelor in Paradise or Bachelor or Bachelorette? And how many of you guys just finished watching the season? There's a whole reason I'm asking this. So just say me if you guys watch Bachelor in Paradise. So that's kind of who I am. That's what's going on. Anybody? Nobody else watches Bachelor in Paradise? I feel like there's got to be some people because I feel like it was one of the most watched shows ever. Or how many of you guys watch Netflix? Watch a show every week? How about that? If you guys watch a show every single week, I want to know.
I think everybody can pretty much figure out where it's going, right? If you have time to watch The Bachelor in Paradise, if you have time to watch Netflix, you have time to work on your business. And that also connects back with everything she just described about herself. She sounds like a really awesome go-getter type of person who gets a lot of things done. However, it's never really fair to tell people that they're not doing enough with their time because they might not have the same resources that you do and the same opportunities that you do to be able to devote all of that time to working their business. Quickly to touch on the fact that her husband is running for Congress, that's kind of interesting to me, and it made me think, ooh, like should he be worried about his wife's involvement with his company and his affiliation in it? But then I remembered that in this country, politicians and multi-level marketing companies are actually friendly with each other. They're not enemies. So yeah, he probably doesn't care. What do you guys think?
Single week, I want to know. So that's kind of who I am, my story, and and where I come from. So if you feel like you have a lot going on, trust me, I do too, but I've never let that be a reason not to do this. And something that I talk about with my team a lot is we kind of have this bridge, right? We're sitting on one side of this bridge and we have so much stuff going on and we have so many things and we want this lifestyle that's on the other side of this bridge. But the only way to get there is by hustling and carrying all of these things on our back in order to get to the other side so that we can set it down on the other side of the bridge. And in order to do that, we have to work really, really hard to cross it. And if we want to be able to set all of these things down from our shoulder, okay, there we go. In order for us to set these things off of our shoulders, we have to get there. And so in order to get there, we have to work our asses off. We have to sacrifice. We have to do the things that others wouldn't. I know you guys hear that quote all the time. You have to do the things that others wouldn't. So this is what I've done as a coach from day one that has helped me get to where I am. And we are scheduled to be elite ×2 for 2019. And my goal for this year is to be 7-star in my first business center and 2-star in my second. That's my goal. I say it out loud. I say it all the time because then I feel like maybe it makes it real. So number one, the first thing that I do is determine my why. If you don't have a why, if you guys have heard this before and you're like, oh my God, this fucking why do people keep talking about this? Because you will not stay up late and you will not wake up early and you will not sacrifice things if you don't have a good why. So like I said, my husband's running for Congress, right? My husband quit his job a month after he was born. And the only way he was doing this was because of Beachbody. I'm a nurse and everyone thinks nurses like roll around in money and we don't. Like we do well, but enough to live, but we're not just sitting there like throwing $100 bills on our bed every night, right? And it's hard work. So my husband, throughout his Congress and everything that he's doing, he has to turn in like financial statements. And he sent me a text yesterday while I was at work and I was exhausted. I'm like pumping, I have a clogged duct and I'm just like miserable. And all I want to do is go home and see Reagan. And he sends me a text message and he goes, babe, you've matched this year how much you've made in nursing and how much you're making in Beachbody. And I just like, it literally makes me emotional because, and I knew I was close. Like I knew I could be there, but I didn't realize that like I didn't realize I was there. And he literally, I think it was like $1,000 off. And I'm like, cool, I can handle that. I can make that up. And that's been my goal. And it took me 3 years to get there, but I have always done this part-time. I built this business entirely part-time. So never think to yourself, if you have any doubt in your head of, but my life is harder than hers. Sarah has it easier. This girl doesn't work as hard as me. This person doesn't have kids, so they don't get it. This person doesn't work full time, so they don't get it. Everybody's busy and everybody has shit going on. And if you ever compare yourself, good or bad, or justify why you're not successful and somebody else is, you're losing out. And if you want to be something, set that example. And that's always been my mentality. My husband said something to me the other day, like, well, why don't you just do this? And I was like, oh, I was talking to Sam. She's one of my coaches. She like basically lives at our house. And I said, we were talking how somebody got pregnant and they kind of fell off the boat from this business. And I said, that is going to be her biggest mistake because now she can't look back in her business when she has other women who are pregnant and aren't working the business. She can't tell them what she did. She can't tell them that she did it and they can too. Now she has to tell them, like, she has to accept the fact that when people deny her when they're pregnant and they don't want to join her or they're not working as hard, she has to accept that because that's exactly what she did. And my mentality throughout my whole business has been, I want to show people what's possible. I want to show people that you can be a full-time nursing student working your ass off, sleeping, studying, barely sleeping, studying, doing clinicals, learning this and new career, and still be able to build a business on the side. And I want to show people that you can be pregnant and still work out until you're 40 weeks pregnant. And I want to be the person who shows people that you can be 4 weeks postpartum, still working out, still working your business, and still doing the things. So determine your why.
Okay, let's pause it there. By the way, sorry if you hear a horn honking in the background. That is our neighborhood elote man walking around selling his delicious corn on the cob treats. Would love to go grab one, but those are notoriously messy to eat, and yeah, you probably would not want to see that. Now, did I just hear some subtle or not so subtle shaming of a pregnant woman? Did I hear the word, it was her mistake? to focus on her pregnancy and her child as opposed to focusing on her business, because now she can't use that as a marketing technique on people. Now she won't be able to say, oh, well, if I did it while I was pregnant, you'll be able to do it too. And she made a mistake by taking care of her child. Really? No, that's crazy. That's a little bit too much. Also, take into account that a lot of people who are in this type of business are single parents. If you were here for the Herbalife opportunity meeting reaction, then you saw like just about every woman on that call mentioned that she was a single mother. How is a single mother supposed to take care of the child as well as this business, which supposedly only needs part-time attention and then will get you to this level of success? No, I think that the person who is giving the presentation right now is successful, but I also think that success comes from a place of privilege and access to resources, you know, access to the husband who allegedly is not working and he's taking care of the kids and running for Congress. But I actually was thinking about that, and I want to ask you guys, if you're running for Congress, do you really want to go out there on the campaign trail and be like, yeah, so I'm not really working right now, my wife retired me, but yeah, I would be a great congressperson? That wouldn't be my strategy. I don't think I would do that. I think I would at least find some sort of volunteer position to, you know, show that I have leadership qualities and that I care about giving back. So maybe the Huns should be a little bit careful about constantly throwing out there how they've retired their husbands. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments.
If my husband wins in a year for Congress, my why is to be able to quit my job and as a nurse and to be able to do Beachbody full time and travel with him. I've already kind of fulfilled that dream because now my husband's being able to live his dream by me working, being a nurse and being a Beachbody coach. Is it hard, you guys? Yes, it is the hardest thing, but I also just got accepted to now go to part-time nursing. So, and I haven't announced that to my social media followers yet, but I am going part-time nursing and literally, you guys, so we're living off of one income and now that's getting cut to part-time and now I'm living off of Beachbody. And that is what's possible with this business. And I want you guys to sit there and realize when you're sitting at your 9-to-5 job and you're sitting there and you're like, oh my God, this is hard. Oh my gosh, I'm tired. I just want to go to sleep. Think about what you're working towards, because this has been what I've been working towards, these moments right here, to be able to see my daughter more, to be able to help my husband live his dream. Do you know how good that feels? If you're married, if you're dating someone, think about being able to tell him, hey babe, you can live your dream because I've worked my ass off for the past 3 years. How good would that feel? Like, how many of you guys have a spouse or a boyfriend or a girlfriend who's miserable in their jobs, and to be able to give them that privilege of, you can quit and now go do something that you want. I'm going to continue working my ass off, but I want you to work and live your dream. And that was my why, because I knew day one that my husband wanted to do that. And now I have my other why. Now I have my next why. Your why can constantly be changing. My next why is to now quit in a year. Whether or not he wins, I want to be able to quit nursing in a year in some way, shape, or form. I don't know if I'm fully going to quit, because I feel like once you're a nurse, you're a nurse.
But if this opportunity really was so incredible, why wouldn't you just quit nursing and do this full-time? Kind of suspicious, eh?
So determine your why. Write that down, you guys. And whatever your why is, like, write it down next to that. If you don't know what your why is, do not go to sleep tonight until you figured it out. Like, that is such a simple task. Think about what your why is. And it has to be chilling. Like, as I'm sitting here talking to you guys, I'm like, oh my God, like I've like retired my husband in a way. Like, that's so cool. Like, I'm letting him live my dream. Oh my gosh, I get to go part-time. That gives me the chills. I get so excited about that. Number 3 is, hold on, I'm looking at my notes. Okay, so this is something that I've done my entire career as a coach, and this has helped me immensely, is scheduling out your shit. Facebook and Instagram have made it so easy to do this, okay? So if you are running, your challenge groups, schedule out your challenge group posts. If you have Facebook posts in your team pages, schedule those out. If you know that you need to post every single day on Instagram, you guys, on Sunday, go on a photo shoot with your family, with your boyfriend or your husband or your sister or your mom. Have them take photos of you for an entire week in different outfits. I used to do that all the time, every single week. I'd go out and I would have all these different pictures and all these different outfits. And if you feel stupid, then there's a problem right there. You should never feel stupid for wanting to be prepared. So whenever we go on trips, whenever we go back to my parents' house, whenever we're in like a different setting, I will take a bunch of pictures in different outfits or different settings so that I have, when I'm at work, I can post that picture. I don't always necessarily think of my caption because sometimes you need to wait for that. But then on my lunch break while I'm at the hospital, or when I was on lunch while I was in school, or whatever your situation, if you're on lunch during work, sit there and think about what you want to post for the day and write it out. You don't have to post it, but if you have that text, if you have all of that, do it then. If you are really bad at doing your invites, do your invites in increments. I would be walking a class and I had a 10-minute walk to class for my car to my classroom. I would send out invites. I would follow up with messages. Use every little piece of time that you have.
She was giving some pretty good advice right there, as far as the content creation and scheduling things out and thinking ahead of time so that you can take advantage of the time that you do have. That's all really good advice. And I was like, yeah, this is good. This is actually training that I think is valuable, which is nice to see in one of these meetings because usually nothing we see is that valuable. But I digress. What I wanted to say was, she said that when she's walking from the classroom to her car that she'll be on her phone sending out these invites, which in theory sounds like a great idea, right? Let me just use this 10 minutes on my walk to send these messages out. But I just think you need to be safe and aware of your surroundings, and it's not really a good idea when you're out and about and you're moving around to be so focused on your phone, especially for women out there. Just being real here, watch out for yourselves and just keep an eye on everything. Keep your head on a swivel. Even if you're taking the bus or taking the subway or something, write a few things and then look up. Oh gosh, am I being too dramatic, like too worried right now? I might be. Just stay safe.
So scheduling your posts, tracking your business, you guys, be efficient. Think about a system that works for you. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Again, I've been doing this for 3 years and I feel like I'm kind of just now figuring out a system that works for me. Tracking your invites. I went from tracking on Word Doc to then doing pen and paper. And then now I feel like I finally tackled it. I use Google Streak. If you don't have it set up, or it's not your thing, that's cool. If it is, but it scares the shit out of you, just do some trainings because once you set it up once, it saves your life for the rest of your life. So I do pipelines. I have a pipeline that just says prospects, and I go through and I have a made contact. I have a challenger. I have a sent email to challenger. I have a coach, sent email to coach, signed up a pre-registration form. And I've kind of figured out like how I can monitor everybody, go back and send emails, do mass emails, and it's made my life so easy. So my point is create a system for your business. Don't just fly off the seat of your pants. And if that's overwhelming to you, if you're hearing, you're like, oh my God, I feel like I'm so far behind. Just start. Like, don't think you have to go back and find all of these contacts. You just have to start today, start tomorrow. Start with pen and paper if that stresses you out less, but you have to have some way, shape, or form. If you're really, really busy, to me, pen and paper didn't work because when you're doing so many invites, you have to go back and like flip through all these pages. So I don't know how people do that. When I hear like Haley Christensen is sit there and does her tracking on pen and paper, I'm like, you have thousands of people you're talking to. How do you remember like, oh, this girl Cynthia is on page 36? Like, how do you remember that? So track, just make your business. If Sunday's your day off, if Monday's your day off, whatever day, everybody has one day off from work, right? Make that your day of planning. Make that your day of, I'm going to be a boss babe and I'm going to make this day my day to make the rest of my week easier but successful. So to me, stuff that you can plan is your post. You can plan your post. You can't plan invites. That comes in a second. You can plan your challenge group posts. You can plan whatever you can post. Like if you have your own team page, then you should be planning your posts in there too. So invites, when it comes to invites, I do those in little increments. I have a baby. I don't know my day. Her naps are 15 minutes long or an hour long. Sometimes they're 5 minutes. I have no idea. But I sit down with the intention to get as much done as I possibly can. So today she took an hour nap and I sat down and I said, I'm not stopping until I can send out and do all these follow-ups and send out all these messages from my poll that I did yesterday. That's another thing you can plan. So I worked a 12-hour shift yesterday. And I had 5 different 5 different, oh my God, 5 different posts with polls on them already pre-made. So while I was pumping for my first pumping session, I posted them on my stories. So now I look like I'm active, even though I'm not. I can't share what I'm doing at the hospital, but it shows people that I'm still there. So then I have all of these polls. So today I'm going through on my streak and I am messaging everybody who voted on these polls and starting conversations. Boom, easy. Like that is easy. It doesn't take time. It takes time to plan it, but it doesn't take time once you're there. Okay, sorry, I just jotted everything down. So your Success Club tracker, you guys, I know you guys hear this. If you don't know your Success Club,
in theory, it's all really, really good advice. Scheduling, planning, yeah, that's really, really smart. What I wonder is how many people on this call are feeling overwhelmed right now by everything that this person's saying, and then kind of interspersing things like, and I worked a 12-hour shift yesterday. In my opinion, it feels kind of like, well, I'm so busy and I'm doing it, so why aren't you? So what do you guys think? Are you getting that same vibe as well? And then just looking around at the faces of the people that are on this call, I want to say about half of them don't even have their face showing. The other ones who are on the meeting, they look like they're just barely hanging on. And then the upline, the one who started the Zoom call, is the only one who's like hyping up the girl who's speaking. So you can obviously tell they're, you know, working together.
I know your Success Club tracker is, I think probably talks about it a lot because I've heard her talk about it a lot. Utilize it. I know it's the same thing, same category as like, what is your why? But if you utilize it, you guys will see success. Every single coach that I have that actually does it hits Success Club starters. And that is a huge reason why we've bumped up so much, is because I have these coaches who are seeing success in their first 3 months. They're making money in the first 3 months of their business. And that's what it's all about, right? We want to make an income. We want to be able to get to that point where we can quit that job, where we can stay home with our families, where we can help our husband retire from whatever he's doing. So use that Success Club tracker and look at the amount of time you should be spending on everything. That second box is gold. That's really what you should be focusing on, because everything else you can plan out. Working out, drinking your Shakeology, that is not part of our like time business, right? I am setting a goal. Honestly, my motivation for sleep training my daughter was so that when the work starts, she would be sleeping in her own room and I could wake up at 4:15 every morning and work out before she wakes up. That was my goal. That was my motivation. So strange, I know, but I remember telling my mom, she's like, you're weird. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, why? That is a weird mode, but it motivates me, right? Like, I want to get back into my pre-baby body, and that's what motivated me. So shit, I'm doing it. So just lost my train of thought. Mom life, mom brain. What was I talking about? Shit, where's my number 4 on here? There we go. Success Club tracker. That's what I was talking about here. So working out, Shakeology, don't even count that as part of your business. The only thing that you should be counting is posting that on social media in your stories every single day. The more you talk about it, the more you show it, the more people are going to ask you. I can't tell you how many times people are like, what's that yellow drink that you always have? Is that safe for breastfeeding? Is that safe for pregnancy? Can you have that? So people, I get that question all the time, and I show people that I still drink it. I'm like, yeah, it's safe. It's natural. And it starts that conversation very naturally.
Just as a reminder, the products that are out there do not need FDA approval, so really, what the hell are you taking with your pregnant self? So she said don't count your workouts or your Shakeology as part of your business. I really disagree with that, because that's the whole point of the business, is to let it infiltrate every part of your life, from what you do, which is working out, to what you eat, which is the Shakeology stuff. So you can't separate the two. They're combined, because if you're not working out, that's going to be used as an excuse against you. Well, you're not working out, so you're not showing results, so how can you go and convince your customers to purchase this? Just like she shamed the pregnant lady earlier on. So you have to be working out and drinking the shakes. It's part of the business. So to say that that doesn't count, I think is really messed up. What do you guys think? Let me know.
I post my shake on my stories. Not all the time, because it's not pretty, because it's ugly poop brown, because I love chocolate vegan, but I will post it when it looks pretty, and people are like, oh my gosh, okay, what is that? And I'll say like, this has helped me with my breastfeeding. This has helped me with my supply. And people are like, wait, what? Like how, what is this? I need to know. So the main thing that I worry about in my day that I get done in my power hour are those invites. Social media posts, you guys, you can plan that. So don't stress about that. Have your Sunday, whatever your Sunday is, plan out your social media posts, plan out those pictures, have an idea of what you're going to be talking about. Do those invites, you guys. Business moving forward activity. Do those invites.
And we all know that when they say do those invites, an invite sounds so pretty, doesn't it? Like, oh, you're getting invited to a party or something. No, when they're saying do those invites, they're saying go get some recruits.
If you're scared, if you're sitting there like, I'm so nervous to do those invites, what if I hear a no? I know Sarah talks to you guys about this because she just talked about it on Gabby's call. Go for the no. Like, I can't handle another person being like, but I've talked to 5 people and they've all said no to me. I'm like, okay, talk to 5 more people. If they all say no, talk to 5 more people. Like, it shouldn't even be like, I'm to that point where I'm like, I expect a no and I get excited when I hear yes. And I know that sounds weird, but if you expect nothing from the person that you're asking, you're not going to be let down. So change your mindset. And if you get really defeated by those no's, then you need to up your PD. And that's why it's a vital. That's why it's on the Success Club tracker. There's a reason why all these things are on the Success Club tracker. Okay, you guys hear about
that? Sounded creepy and culty to me. Like thought control, mind control, desensitizing you from your emotions and from people saying no. And the way that she kind of blew it off, I can't even put up with people who are sad that they've been rejected by 5 people. Like, why are you being so rude? Rejection is the one constant thing in this business. You can at least show some sympathy for somebody who is feeling bad, but then again, in this business, they don't even want you to dwell on it. They don't even want you to see it as a problem. It's nothing. Turn off your emotions to that and keep going. So, like I said, creepy and culty. Ooh.
Hear about that enough, so I'm not going to go in on. But I do use that, and that's basically what I did during my whole business. Is every day I was like, hey, I'm just going to get these 5 vitals done. That's just what I'm going to do, is just get these 5 vitals done. Which brings me to my next point. Don't feel like you have to do everything, but don't let it justify why you're doing nothing. So my Success Club partner that I've been working really a lot with is Gabby. I feel like everyone knows Gabby. We both have babies, like brand new babies. We're both very much in the same time of our life. We have a mama challenge group that we run together, and she is a stay-at-home mom and her husband is in the military. And I get so caught up, like we do weekly, bi-weekly calls or bi-monthly calls, and we'll talk and she'll tell me all these great ideas that she's doing. I'm like, wow, I'm so happy for you. Let me know how that works out. I'm sitting here and I'm drowning, you guys. And I'm like, okay, like I have to be okay with the fact that I can't do everything she's doing. And I am in no way, shape, or form saying her life is easier than mine and that's why she can do it. But she has more of that time freedom. That is it. She has more time freedom so she can do different things than I can do right now. And I have to be okay with that.
Did she just throw some shade? She has time freedom, which means what? She doesn't have a real job like she does, so that's why she has more time to be creative on the business. It's just funny coming from the girl who's probably making everybody else feel bad, feeling like they're not doing enough.
And I have my long list of things on my little Post-it of projects that I want to do that are not my vitals, and I tackle it. I just chip away at it, and I'll get there, and I know that. But if I sat there and I'm like, well, Gabby's doing a Pinterest thing, and Gabby has a Think of It page for challengers, and I don't, like, oh my gosh, I'm failing. Am I failing? No, I'm hitting Success Club. I'm making an income. I'm doing what I can do, but I'm not justifying it to the point where, like, I'm so busy I can't even invite people today. I just can't. I'm too busy. No, I do not go to bed, you guys, until I have done my invites, until I've finished my tracker, until I've done everything that I need to do. So don't justify it, you guys, but be okay if somebody else is doing something that you aren't. Like, just be okay with it. And then when you do have that Saturday, you're like, fuck, I have all Saturday to do this. Get it done. Like, knock it out. If you don't have kids, do it. I don't know what I did with my life before I had kids. I look back and I'm like, I had all the time in the world and I did not take advantage of it. So if you do not have kids, you guys do everything in the world.
Okay, so first she's shaming pregnant women. Now she's shaming people that don't have kids. If you don't have kids, what the heck are you doing with your time? You need to be working on your business. You've got no excuse. That's pretty messed up. That is pretty messed up.
Number 6, write it out and plan it out. This is kind of to do with what I was talking about earlier. I kind of mushed it all together. But on Sundays, I will sit there. I just did something different. So after 3 years of being in the business, my husband is now finally starting to help me. this is brand new. So do not sit there and be like, well, my husband doesn't help me, so I am not going to be successful in this. He just like literally within the past 2 or 3 months has just started helping me with stuff, just started being creative with me, just been like he's sitting there and writing down my post-its of what I'm going to talk about and like brainstorming with me as I'm breastfeeding Reagan before this call. And so he's sitting there and telling me stuff to talk about. And, but my point is write it out and plan it out. So we have a shared Google Doc, and I have everything that I do on a daily basis, so that if I'm at work, he can go on there and I say, hey babe, did you tackle the things for today? I've shown him, I've trained him. Hey, this is what we post on Sundays. This is what we post on Tuesdays. This is what we post on Wednesdays. So now he knows, and I've showed him how to make the graphics, and I give him the more simple things for now. But I'm training him how to do these things. So now we have the shared calendar so that I know, okay, every Sunday I want that Success Club board up. Every Monday I want that new cover photo up. Every Thursday I want you to go in and do that recognition, and this is how you do that. And if I have the day off, I do it myself. So again, you don't have to do that with your husband, but you should be doing that for yourself. Like, you should know, this is what I want to do every single week. If you don't have your own team page, then use that time to freaking invite the shit out of people. If you don't have to worry about team calls and running them, you don't have to worry about recognition and running that. If you don't have a cover photo, you have so much time to do these things.
So she's just taking some more time to shame you about not doing enough if you don't have these other responsibilities. And that's great and all that your husband is there helping you so much with his business. But again, how many other people on this call have that same privilege of a partner there to help them devote all of this time that's needed?
So plan it out, do what you need to do, which leads me into communicating. Communicate with your friends and family. Hold on really quick. I need to do something really quick Sorry. I was like 5:30, I have to do this. Okay, cool. I just posted a reminder for my team call. If you're married, if you have kids, if you are living with your parents, if you have roommates, whatever your situation is, communicate with them what you're trying to do. Or else you're always going to feel stupid. You're going to feel like you can't say no to something because you have to do this. That's one of my points, is it's okay to say no. So focus, I remember when I started and I was kind of nervous to talk to my family about it. I was already married, so my husband has always been pretty supportive of me. But he would ask me to go do something, and I was scared to say no, I don't want to go out to dinner because I have a team call that I want to join tonight. Or we go home once a month back to California and stay with my parents. And I've gotten to the point with my mom, and I'm like, hey, I have to work on this from this time to this time, but I can hang out after that. We can do something with me and Reagan after that. Communicate, because sometimes your family doesn't realize the importance of your business to you. And if you tell them, hey, I have to work on this, A, they're probably going to respect you more because they're like, oh shit, she's really taking this business thing seriously. And then B, you're going to feel better. You're going to feel more relaxed when you do go and do the things. If I haven't done my invite sometimes, lately, because Reagan's been going to sleep at 7, this past week, I've been waiting to do a lot of things until 7:30. And then I stay up until 11 or 12 to get it done. And it's hard, but I know that I'm not going to get interrupted. I know that I'm going to be able to get my stuff done. So I'm kind of learning that way of life, but I hate saving it to the end of the day. I hate it. But that's what's working for me in this phase of life.
Oh, gosh. Again, good on her for being able to live like that, but how many other people are going to be able to relate to that and to actually do what she's doing? And I had some hope that when she had started talking about it's okay to say no, I thought that she was going to say it's okay to say no to MLM requirements. It's okay to not jump on this team call. It's okay to not recruit someone this month. But no, it's okay to say no to spending time with your family so that you can focus on running your business. Here's the thing. If it was another type of job, a corporate 9 to 5, other type of job where you're paid by the hour or you have a salary, there will be times when you have to say no to family time and work on things. But the difference is you'll be paid for that time. You'll be compensated. The people who are being asked to say no to their families are not being compensated for their time and for their efforts. And again, as soon as I click play, I want you to take a look at the faces of the people who are on this call who have their camera showing. Does it look like they can handle that?
But when you are figuring out what your schedule is, what your plan is, figure out who you're going to be around. If your husband's like, oh, let's go on a date that night, and you have a team call with Sarah, don't be afraid to be like, hey, babe, Sarah's team call's at 5. Can we go at 6? Can we leave at 6 instead of 5? I bet you they'll be like, oh, sure, I can wait. I'll watch football. Like, they're probably not going to care. But I just think communicating has been a really big factor into my business, and like having my family support me and having my husband understand. When I used to do my sneak peeks live in Facebook, I used to have to I wouldn't be able to go to things because you can't just not show up to a Facebook Live when you're the star and because you want to go and do something else. So when you plan out your business and when you take it seriously, like I said, people are going to take you more seriously. People are going to respect you more, and you'll feel like you're doing something with your business. Which leads me into, it's okay to say no. I get tempted. I get very tempted. I hate saying no, whether it's a baby shower, whether it's a wedding, whether we just went to a wedding this past weekend, and I'm like, it was a friend. She was a friend. We went to high school together. We don't hang out anymore. We really don't talk that much, but I just felt like I needed to go, and there's nothing wrong with that. It was a 2.5-hour drive for how far the wedding. So I ended up working the whole way anyways. But I was telling my husband, I'm like, why do we keep feeling like we need to say yes to everything? Like, we are fucking busy. Like, we need to start saying no to stuff. It's okay to say no. And I'm not saying you shouldn't have a life outside of Beachbody and your things, but it's okay to say, hey guys, I can't go to brunch today because I need to work on this. And you don't have to tell people if you don't feel comfortable being like, hey, I'm working on Beachbody. And you're like, hey, I have something going on.
All of those events that she listed, oh, it's someone's wedding or some type of celebration, those are the things that she seems like to have a bad attitude about. And she mentions the girl who invited her to her wedding, and oh, I haven't talked to her since high school. Honestly, she should feel touched that the friend invited her to the wedding in the first place. Weddings are expensive. The fact that she wanted you there, meant that obviously you hold a special place in her heart. And to kind of have that attitude about it, well, like, why do we come to this? We should just tell these people no, we're fucking busy. That's kind of rude, honestly. And then to be working on the whole drive over, you can't even go to this wedding without having to be working the whole entire drive. And you guys remember, she's like a 5-star diamond or whatever the heck, 5 Michelin star something or other. And she is actually pretty profitable in the company, right? $7,000 potential earnings a week, and then $364,000 a year. And still, she can't even take a day off to go to a wedding. What is the point of working so hard to get yourself to that level if you can't even enjoy the basic things that bring people together in this life?
This is how I feel like I've always looked at my business is, what if like you treated your Beachbody business like you do with work and you put it off? Like, what if you were like, oh boss, sorry, I'm somebody asked me to brunch, so I'm gonna go. Like what would your boss say? He would fire you. Yeah, bye. So that's kind of how I've always treated it. I have my schedule and what I like to do in my week, in my day. And I always think when my boss fired me, like, I couldn't sit there and be like, oh, sorry, I can't show up because I'm going to go get donuts with the girls. Like, you have to do your shit. So don't be afraid to say no to things. Just like you have to say no, I can't go, I have work. Do the same with Beachbody. If you treat this like a business, it's going to pay you like a business. And I can tell you that with all honesty, I have been a slow growing, steady growing. I've been a turtle in this business. I've been slow and steady, and I am winning the race. Okay. You don't have to be the next Mandy Kai. You can be the next Mandy Kai. That is what's beautiful about this business is she's doing her thing. Her and I used to be successful partners. She's doing her thing. I do my thing. And we're both ending up in the same place, right? We're both ending up doing this full time and making an income and doing what we love. So next is, this was my husband's bullet point. And he's like, babe, you got to talk about this. So I'm telling you this from my husband from you. He said, you got to talk to them about don't confusing efforts with results. At the end of the week on Thursday, when you look in your back office and you look and you say, oh my God, I only made $14. Like, why? What did I why am I not seeing success? Why am I not this person? Why am I not as good as Sarah? Why can't I do this? Look back and think, like, what have I done? And I'm very honest with my team. I like to show my team that I'm human. I never want them to think I'm superior. And I feel like with everything going on in our life, I haven't been like full pace with everything, right? I've been doing what I need to do to survive for this past month. And my Success Club numbers show that. My team, I know that they feel it. And I'm honest with them. I'm like, look, you guys, I'm doing what I need to do until I kind of get my rhythm and get a little bit better, but I am still showing up. I'm still doing my vitals. Am I being innovative and doing all these other things? No, but I'm also not seeing the same results because I'm not doing all these extras that I was doing a month or two ago, right? So I can't expect that same outcome. So if you're not getting the results that you feel like you deserve, you need to gut check yourself. And I'm very confident in saying I'm really good at gut checking myself and asking my husband, like, how do you think I've been doing? And I remember going through nursing school, and I remember my business. I haven't hit Success Club 2 months in a row in my entire 3 years of being in business. I haven't hit it for 2 months. That's it. And I remember like sulking, being like, oh my God, this business is so hard. Maybe it's just not for me. Maybe I'm just not good at it. Maybe this, I feel like maybe this business just isn't what I thought it was. And he's like, when was the last time you did a Beachbody workout? And I'm like, I couldn't answer the question. And that was like the lowest part of my business. And I remember him saying that, and I have yet to never do a Beachbody workout again. Like, I remember I was going to the gym with him, and I was still working out, but I wasn't doing Beachbody specific workouts. And since that point, I remember like, fuck, he's right. And it kind of gut checked me. I'm like, I need to do that to myself. I need to make sure that I'm on top of my shit, because if I'm not doing it and getting results from what I'm telling people to join me on, they're not going to join me. So if you guys feel like you're not hitting Success Club, I'm sorry, you guys. Oh, I can't. If you can't help 3 people a month, you're not doing something in your business. There's absolutely no way. If you are not hitting Success Club, I'm just going to be super honest. You are not doing all of the things. And you can sit on that, and you can think about that tonight. Like, what could I do? Because there has to be something. And I know this is true, because when I ask a coach, one of my coaches, like, hey, you're hitting Success Club. Like, so what have you been doing different? And they're like, oh, I'm actually doing the things. And I'm like, you told me you're doing the things when you weren't hitting Success Club. They're like, yeah, I thought I was doing the things, but I wasn't. And I'm like, oh, okay, doesn't make sense to me, but cool. Like, so I hear it. I've heard it too many times where I'm like, okay, when people aren't hitting Success Club, they're not sending enough invites. They're not doing their workout. They're not showing up on social media regularly. They're not growing their following. They're not doing what they need to be doing.
Wow. Wow. That was a lot of bullshit. She mentioned that the husband had this quote to share having to do with effort not matching results. I actually had a glimmer of hope that they were going to say something inspirational, such as, even if you see that you didn't recruit 3 people and your results weren't that great, just know that you put in a good effort and you tried your hardest. Nope, I was way off base. It is, if you didn't see results, it's because you didn't put enough effort in. And again, she mentioned how she had her husband there to offer support to keep her off track, but at the same time, she really sounds like she is overworking herself and stretching herself out very, very thin. And like I said earlier, isn't she at a level within the company where she wouldn't have to do that anymore? Nope, because in MLMs, those ranks are temporary. You have to maintain them. You have to continue hitting those requirements each month, or else you're going to start to slip.
This is my last point, is make sacrifices, you guys, and be okay with that. And if people join this business, if my coaches who are on this, they've heard me say this a million times. When you join this business, we join it because we want that. We want to get to the other side of that bridge. We want to have that easier life. We see Angie, right? Angie's been doing this for 6 years, and she just bought a piece of property in Disney World. They're moving to Florida. They have this beautiful home. She lives the fucking life. That's what I want to say. Like, she drank that lemonade, but that wasn't Angie 6 years ago. You are Angie 6 years ago, right now, in this moment. And the difference between Angie and the other people that Angie probably joined at the same time with is Angie has never gave up. And that's all I can say is Angie sacrificed. And I remember when I went to her diamond retreat 2 years ago, I remember her saying, I worked so hard. I remember going to the lake house and everybody was going on the boat. And that was kind of like the big thing that we all did. And I decided to stay in and work on my business. And it was a sacrifice and it sucked. But now I never have to say no to going on that boat anymore. Now I get to, that's just like give me the chills when like I think about her saying that. Now I can go on that boat ride. Now I can go to Disneyland for a week and not have to worry about Andre taking time off because she retired Andre. I can go do everything I wanted to because I sacrificed a couple years of my life. She's a millionaire, you guys, and she's a year older than me. Like, what the fuck? That's insane. That's insane. So if you're 21 right now, you could be a fucking millionaire by the time you're 27. You could be a millionaire by the time you're 25. Like, Mandy Kai is 26 years old. She'll be in the Millionaires Club by tomorrow.
Okay, without knowing too much about this person, one thing to remember is if it's just someone who's becoming a part of the millionaire club, that doesn't necessarily make that person a millionaire. That just means that over their X amount of years within the company, their sales and their prizes and other monetary prizes have totaled up to $1 million. So it's really not the same thing as being a millionaire.
But you have to sacrifice. And if you got in this business because you thought, oh, this is going to make my life easier, it will. But you have to work to get there. It's not just going to happen. And that's what I love about this business is we're not here to sell wraps. We're not here to get rich quick. We're not here to like scheme people into buying something so we can make money off of it. We are here to change people's lives as well as our own. And it's okay to be selfish. It's okay to say, I want to do this for myself and I want to make that income. When I hear people say my husband doesn't support me, when I hear people say they can't do it because it's hard, it literally pains me. Or when I talk to people and I hear I literally can't afford, like I can barely afford my food for my baby. Like it makes me nauseous. And all I want to say is believe in yourself enough to have that credit card, put $160 on it and work your ass off so that you never have to be in this situation again. And that's what's possible in this business. So it is like it can, if you guys haven't been to Summit, every year they tell us stories of these people, and every single time you hear that successful person, they charged it on their credit card and they worked their ass off because their back was up against the wall. They had no other option than to be successful. And they got no's. They were tired. They probably didn't have all the sleep in the world. They probably had 3 jobs and they still showed up and they still did it. So you have to decide when you're writing your why tonight, am I going to be that person who says this business isn't for me and thinks it's a business and doesn't realize it's them? Because this business does not choose people. We choose if we're going to be successful in it. Or are you going to be the person who is on the National Wake Up Call, who's standing up on stage celebrating elite, is in the Legacy Club, not the Millionaires Club anymore? You have to have that why. You have to start from that top. You have to really think about, what is this worth it? Why am I doing this? Because you signed up for a reason. You didn't just sign up to help people. And if that is your why, you got to dig deeper, because helping people is not going to keep you up. Telling yourself, okay, I want to quit being a nurse in a year, and I have to make sure my salary matches working this business part-time while I'm working nursing full-time, and I have to make sure that matches. That makes me motivated, because I have that financial goal every single week where I'm like, I got to match this. I got to match this. I got to match this. What am I going to do? So just like to wrap it all up, as far as like time management, make it a priority. Make this business a priority. Use that Success Club tracker. Plan out your weeks. Plan. Have your one day out of the week where you sit there. It doesn't have to be all day, but don't stop until you have your week planned, and do it weekly. And again, when you start, it's going to feel a little difficult, but the more your weeks go on, the more you're like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And it just becomes more of natural habit. Okay, guys. And the whole point that I asked about Netflix and Bachelor of Paradise is because I watch it, and I know that if I don't hit Success Club, then that's unexcusable. So if I have time, Bachelor of Paradise is 4 hours a week. That was my point. As I was telling my husband, I'm like, how many fucking people comment and tell me they're watching Bachelor of Paradise, and those people tell me that they don't have time for fucking business. You have time for a business if you make it a priority. Because if you have time to breathe, eat, sleep, have friends, have a family, you have time to build the life of your dreams. So that's it.
Oh my gosh, this person is a character for reals. Not cool to just go ahead and encourage people to put this on your credit card. Please don't do that. First of all, don't sign up. Especially don't sign up if you have to put it on a credit card because you literally don't even have the money to do it right now. That is not a good sign. And I was right. All this chick did was shame us the whole entire time. I don't know about you guys, made me feel like I'm not doing enough with my freaking life. But I have to remember that that's okay. I'm happy. I'm chill and content, and I'm not a part of an MLM.
That's it, you guys. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I don't know how handles her stuff.
Yeah, that was absolutely amazing. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I wrote so many notes. I was like, what am I gonna say? Like, Kristen's like, look at all the things I wrote. So many things. I think Christine's in the car, so I'm not sure if she can speak it or not. But honestly, like, I'm like so blown away. And you had so many aha moments in there that I kind of reflected to myself where, you know, like, I know that my husband will always respect the fact that he won't ask me to do things on Monday or Wednesday nights. Like, if people ask us to do things, he's like, no, we can't. He's like, I can go, but she can't go. You know what I mean? Or she'll be late. Or, you know, if I'm not even on an upper call, because now I'm doing Monday night calls, and like our team does Monday night calls, we do Wednesday night calls, and then we have our team upward calls. And I don't know about you guys, but I hate catching and recording. I just hate it. I hate that feeling of like, okay, what happened? We write some things down. I'm not as motivated. You know, it's really not the same. And so, like, for all of you guys that are jumping on here and you're actually in here and engaging and being able to ask questions and feel the vibe and feel the energy by watching everyone else's faces while you're in the moment, like, kudos to you, because I know for a fact in myself that when I'm not on team upward calls, those are calls that Christine and I don't schedule, right? Like, when Allie speaks right now, I'm like, my heart is exploding because I'm just learning from somebody else, and it's not me just talking to you guys, right? So we have that opportunity on upward calls. You guys have the opportunity to be on these calls and learn from other people. And
just to let you guys know, and this is from my experience as a teacher, we love having guest speakers and guest teachers come in because that means that they get to do the talking and we get to just relax and of course do some classroom management. But it's always nice because we just get to sit there and chill. So I think that's kind of, you know, part of why this chick came on here to do this presentation, as a way to have something new and something different, but also to give the main upline girl a chance to just chillax.
And the thing is, it's so different because we have this plethora of training that we can access on YouTube and the champions page, on our Team Beachbody Live, everywhere. But being on a team call is the whole point of you guys being immersed into a community, right? So that was absolutely amazing. I think my favorite thing, oh gosh, I can't even, what is something else that I loved? Everything. It's so hard. I just love the fact that you're so damn busy. Like, whenever you hear these things, the fact that, like, holy shit, you retired your husband. Like, that is the ultimate goals. And I love the fact that, you know, you said that this has been a slow build for you, but it's been consistent, and then you make it happen, and you can recognize the fact that when you're not doing the things, it's because you're not getting successful because you weren't doing the things, right? So I can totally resonate with that. And I know there's a lot of you guys that are on here that are having a lot of aha moments. And if anybody has any questions for Allie, I would love you guys to drop them in the chat. If you're comfortable to unmute yourself, please do that. I'm going to be jumping on. Christine, can you speak, or are you totally stuck in the car right now? So, like, honestly, guys, like, unbelievable, right? Like, absolutely unbelievable. I don't know if Christine can speak, so waiting for her to see if she can say anything. And Haley's like, yeah, so good. Also, the big thing that I loved is the fact that you took the fact that you're saying, like, you know, when I was pregnant, I need to show up every single day to show people that they can do this, right? I know that hits a lot of you guys that are on here, right? And for me, like I say, like, I've been wanting to get pregnant so I can show people, because so many people, like Haley specifically, for example, Haley used to go work out at Orange Theory Fitness, which is like a high intensity interval training program, class, everything. And she went there to, like, the day before she had her child, and would sit there, and people would walk in there and they would cancel their gym memberships because, like, oh shit, I got pregnant, right? So it's like, being able to show people not that you need to be able to do these things, and think about this stuff as an opportunity to inspire other people. And that doesn't mean you don't have time. It doesn't mean that your body's limited, but like that's the whole purpose of us living as coaches, right? Is to share all those things.
So in case you didn't feel bad enough about yourself already, before we let you off here, let me just remind you that if you're pregnant and if you're not working out, you're not doing enough.
I feel like there were so many amazing takeaways. I don't think Christine can speak right now. Yeah, of course, pregnant people ask you for help. I'm gonna be asking for help. Like, I'm just like so freaking excited. So I think that was phenomenal. I'm so thankful to have you on here. I feel like you breathed so much life into everybody, and that we needed to hear that stuff. I'm happy to see all you guys that jumped on here. You're so welcome. Can we grab a team pic, please, before more people start jumping off? I'm also speaking on Allie's call next. We are doing a swap. I love that everyone's, oh yeah, let me throw my pic on now. Let's take a pic. My face is here. Hey, y'all can put your faces on when we're talking to you, you know, like it's totally fine. Just saying, put it out there. Okay, so we're gonna take a picture, but I shared in our team pages, and in the chats that I am speaking on Allie's call. So if you guys want to jump on that for more training, we're gonna smile. 1, 2, 3. Nice, Allie. Right up into the camera. Amazing. Thank you so much. That was absolutely phenomenal. And I'll share the recording with you as well. So thanks, guys. Have a good night. Bye.
That Beachbody team call was nothing short of toxic. It was nothing but, compare yourselves to me. I am a nurse and I run this business and I have a baby and my husband's running for Congress. I'm so busy. If I can do it, you can too. Even if I don't have all of those things going on that you do, that doesn't mean that I don't have my own stuff to worry about. It doesn't make me any less valid in not having time for an MLM. The saddest part about this was looking at everyone's faces. They looked tired. They looked like they were not energized or motivated, yet they were just being pushed to these really unrealistic expectations, in my opinion. And this is one of the things that's toxic about MLMs. And the situation would be different if all of this energy that they were investing was being returned to them in the form of money. But as we know, that is not the case with MLMs. In MLMs, 99% of people will lose money. It's serious. So don't join an MLM. And if you are in one, keep watching anti-MLM content and hopefully you'll change your mind. If you are still here, thank you so much for sticking around. If you are not subscribed, please make sure to click subscribe. And I hope you have a great day. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.